This is a story about an old car and a stupid plan. Because the good ideas are usually the boring ones. Because hey, what could possibly go wrong?
Along the Pamir Highway there are quite a few military checkpoints because it's an autonomous region and somehow there's some focus on who comes in, who comes out, how people move. So we're standing at a checkpoint right now, close to Murghab. That's the most civilized, most inhabited place here in the region. The only big settlement up on about 3,800 meters above sea level, I think. Somewhere far off in Tajikistan. Managed to get registered, which took quite a while, and now we're looking for a megaphone SIM card because there's absolutely no internet here with our SIM card, and the Wi-Fi in the hotel of course doesn't work, and we also want to get some stuff for Theodor, and we asked some local guy where the bazaar is, and the road looks not that promising. Let's see where we end up. Absolutely strange, like on a different planet here. But very friendly people. Okay, so we're heading back into the village. It looks already a bit more like there might be a bazaar somewhere. But yeah, it's a different world here. Yeah, now we have the grand view onto Murghab. The only settlement high up here in the Pamir mountains. Reaching the bazaars, it seems. Let's have a look. It looks a bit sketchy, to be honest, but at the same time also highly authentic. And the bazaar consists of many containers. Let's see if we get our SIM card here. I'm not sure. Bazaar, we made it. Incredible. Okay, we're driving through the bazaar. I'm not quite sure we're supposed to drive here, but it's quite amazing.
But it's not such a good idea.
Yeah, I think we should maybe stop here. Oh, that's a car shop. Okay, having a small walk here in this interesting desert. And yeah, it's absolutely a different world. I mean, look at these houses. People just live here. Could you imagine? On almost 4,000 meters above sea level, surrounded by the mountains. Apparently also only one cell provider works here. It's mega fun. Of course not the one we have, and the hotel Wi-Fi is also not working for a few days already. So I'm actually now getting a second SIM card with Tajikistan because I don't want people at home getting worried. And I have to do Duolingo because I've got a 1,300-day streak that I want to lose. So yeah, very important priorities here. When he's eating something already, he has other priorities, which I totally understand and respect. And let's see if I get a megaphone SIM card now. Oh, and I took a shower. It was absolutely amazing after 3 days in the tent. So yeah, a lot of things going on here. Okay, almost made it to the megaphone shop. And I think it says more than 1,000 words that there's solar panels mounted on the roof. I guess that says a lot about the reliability of energy here. Okay, so today is a big day, because today we want to tackle the highest mountain pass along the entire route, the Ak-Baital Pass, which will take us to 4,655 meters over sea level. And yeah, I have to say, I think we're both a little bit nervous because we don't know how the car handles this. But yeah, we prepared well. We got some water, we got some not very trustworthy looking fuel in Murghab, and now we are heading on beautiful and actually quite good roads towards Kyrgyzstan. So a bit tense because we apparently have some radiator issue. The engine is heating up a bit more than we like to, so we have to play with the heating to cool it down again a bit. And it also smells a bit like cooling fluid that we had to refill also the last days a bit. So somewhere it's not quite tight. Some fluid is coming out. And we really hope that we'll make it up the pass to 4,655 meters. Okay, we found the problem, not the kidney, but the radiator has a hole and some steam is piping out there as soon as it gets warm. So what we'll do now is we'll put this back and we'll drive to Murghab, where we came from, and try to get it fixed there. Okay, after almost 14,000 kilometers, the first issue. Our radiator died. Engine temperature went up suddenly, and we already knew that something is wrong because we had to fill up antifreeze a few times, and quite a lot of steam was coming out on the top of the radiator. Had to disassemble a bit of the front of the car to actually find the source of the problem. So now we're heading back to Murghab. It's about 38 kilometers, well, actually precisely 38 kilometers, and that's how it looks. We usually try to turn off the engine as much as possible because it overheats quite quickly. Let's see how it's right now. If I turn it on, what will happen? Yeah, it's again at the middle, so we can drive again a bit, but believe me, very quickly it'll go up again towards the red section of the gorge, and of course then it's high time to turn off the engine and roll, let the engine cool off again. But actually all this is quite fine, not unhealthy for the car, as long as we're careful and slow. Almost made it. Our goal is in sight. One can see Murghab in the distance, and you can also see our hood looking up a bit because it's open for some extra circulation and some extra cool, funky Mad Max outlook. Let's see. Yeah, slowly rolling into Murghab. Engine turned off. We'll make it. Actually lucky the engine problem occurred here, because once we passed the Ak-Baital Pass, which was only 30 kilometers away, we would have rolled down into a valley with almost nothing except for a big lake. And here we have quite good hopes to find somebody who can fix the system without big problems. Okay, in Murghab we're looking for a mechanic. It's not so easy because they don't have signs or anything. We already looked at one, but there was nobody there. Also nothing that looked like a workshop. But Anya's eye overlander opened and is finding hopefully another spot. Straight ahead, let's go. No, it should be here, but again, we don't really see a mechanic. Okay, small update on the coolant situation. We drove back to Murghab because fixing that on the road was probably not quite reasonable. And a local guy who was something like a mechanic who helped us a bit to glue it with epoxy tarts. Epoxy, whatever it's called in English. And then after 2.5 hours work, we left again and the same problem reoccurred. So now it's round 2 and we're just basically blocking the line that is faulty. We cut it off and are trying to seal it. Okay, second round almost done. Right now getting air out of the system. And yeah, we're standing all the time in front of this pump. And the entire village is coming here to get water because apparently, this village or town, whatever you want to call it, there's no running water in the houses. Okay, small recap about yesterday. We made it until basically this point. It's 38 kilometers away from Murghab, and our radiator was leaking. So we drove back, found some local who was willing to help. We had the great idea to glue it, which didn't work, so we fixed it a second time after starting driving again a bit. And that took quite a while. We just basically cut the tube that was leaking and sealed it. So we have a tubeless in the radiator, which is not a problem, and it seems to work. So that's quite good. And then yesterday it was already about 9 in the evening and it was dark, so we just camped just a bit out of Murghab. Quite windy, not the best night. And this morning Kyoto didn't start. Was idling a lot, not starting. I'm not sure if it's the air, if there was not a good mix out of fuel and oxygen. Anyway, we took out all the spark plugs, cleaned them, but actually all except for the second one looked quite fine, not too wet. Checked the fuel pressurizer, also looked okay. And then at some point I had the great idea just to give Theodore a good push with original Anya power. This guy is good, and the car started. And then this morning we set some social time. We met some cyclists that we already met a few days ago. We were taking turn and having a ride in Theodore while Anya was testing old bikes. Small coffee stop along the way. Found some Belgian guy whose bike I still fixed a bit. And now everything seems to work finally. So we're heading straight towards the Ak-Baital Pass, the highest pass on the entire journey, and then further towards Tajikistan. Okay guys, believe it or not, we made it basically to China. I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera, but on the right hand side is a fence, and that marks the border region to China already. So the mountain on the right is not Tajikistan but China. Or no man's land, one of both. But I have to say it's a great feeling. Made it with good old Theodore all the way to China, and so that people still believe us, we had one breakdown, because yeah, if I would say no breakdown, nobody would believe me. So one breakdown we had yesterday. That's all, so pretty awesome. So today is a rather social day. It's not very busy here. We only saw one other car, one motorbike, and a few cyclists, but we had social interactions with most of the bikers. I prepared some coffee for most of them because they're all a bit tired. And there was a guy with a, well, faulty front wheel. I fixed that because I had some tools. Then there was Johan, the guy who hitchhiked with us a few days back. We prepared some lunch for him, and Anya drove a bit his bike because Anya's testing all the bikes today. Yeah, and now we are just reaching a new record because we just crossed 4,300 meters over sea level. And we're heading straight to the Ak-Baital Pass, till 4,655 meters. In case you ever wondered how it looks on 4,300 meters somewhere in the Tajik mountains, this is how. Mostly good roads, some bumps in between, but actually driving here is a lot of fun. Okay guys, we are getting there. We are on 4,410 meters over sea level, and in about 4 kilometers there'll be the peak of the pass. So right now there's a last house in front of us, and then the road is going steep up the mountain. Let's see if the car can make it, but so far Theodore makes a strong and happy impression. I think cleaning the spark plugs this morning and changing the air filter yesterday was good, and we are ready to set up to the mountains. Okay, right now we're going full power in the second gear. It's quite steep, but if it works in the second gear, we don't have any problems in the first gear later on, so I'm quite optimistic that we can make it to 4,655 meters. Okay, full speed in the second gear, and we're losing speed on 4,470 meters. I guess we might need the first gear later on, but well, we have him, so it's not a problem. Okay, 4,570 meters, and I have to shift to the first gear for the first time. But he still has an abundance of power. And look at this view to go with it. Isn't that absolutely great? Motor perfekte Temperatur. Junge, wir machen's. Zweiter Gang kämpft. 4.600. Well, this is exciting. Right behind me is the Ak-Baital Pass on 4,655 meters. And right now we're on about 4,620 meters or so. I mean, look at this view. Absolutely stunning. My brother was so nice to film a little bit from the bottom while he's walking back up. And there's Finn here. And I actually think this turn was the hardest part because it was very steep. And I noticed that I lost some speed in the first gear, but luckily it got less steep, and yeah. Safe to say, I'm quite sure we'll make it. Okay, in first gear we're going up quickly, no problem at all. Up the Ak-Baital Pass. Absolutely unbelievable. Hey, Mann, ja, wir haben es geschafft. Unglaublich.